Welcome to Crimepedia. I am your host.
How was that?
Okay, sorry. Let me do this again.
I was your host. I'm sacked.
No, this video started playing.
Oh.
You didn't hear it, but I could hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, I
Let's
can hear it.
start it again.
Okay.
Welcome to Crimepedia. I'm your host this week. I am Morgan. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And with me, as always, is my favorite person in true crime. It's the lovely Cherry. Hello, Cherry.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm freezing. I don't know. I'm freezing cold. I don't know why. It's gone really cold all of a sudden in my house.
It's the ghost.
It's not nice. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the cold. I'm not good with cold. I like warm. I'm glad summer's going to be on its way soon.
Soon, yeah. Hopefully real soon, because it's cold here and we
Yeah.
have the snow coming down.
Yeah, I know. You sent me pictures this morning. And it's so funny because since we talked about snow, I think it was last week, we talked about different snow in our Patreon episode.
Mhm.
Lots of patrons have been sending me pictures of their gardens and stuff. And like yours, they're like some of them, it was like 2 foot of snowfall. It was crazy.
Jeez.
Like we don't get that kind of thing here. That is like a phenomenon here. Like
Yeah.
every 15 years you'll get like a massive snow dump or something.
Yeah.
Well, in the south of the country, obviously Scotland usually get quite a bit of snow, but we're quite far from them. So yeah, it's quite different. Yeah, it's cool, really cool to see. I've seen some good time lapses where it just literally just looks like it's filling up. It's amazing.
It's insane. It's absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
it is. Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy.
Well, we do have some news this week. Why don't you do your little piece of news first, and I will follow up with my little piece of news.
Okay, so news for an update that we've got. You remember that we did a case on a man called Stephen Sutherland, whose mysterious death we covered, where he was found at the bottom of a cliff of sorts in Scotland. Now, we couldn't at the time talk about the main suspect, a guy called Stuart Dixon. We couldn't name him at the time because of what was going on, but he has now been since found dead. I don't know the circumstances of his death, but I understand from some Facebook posts and some information that we received that now the main suspect in Stuart's death has now been found dead himself. So whether this will allow people to now come forward with information because they're no longer scared because he's not there. By reading Facebook posts, it seems to be the case that a lot of people are saying, now you can come forward, now you can go to the police and tell them what you know because you're not under any threat from him anymore. So I do believe he was due to go to court, I think this week or next week. He was due in court.
He was.
On some kind of like sexual attack charges.
Yeah. So he had sexually assaulted a woman who would later be found dead or committed. I don't know if she was found dead, if it was like...
I think one committed suicide, didn't she? Right. And the other one, I think, was still alive.
Yes, that's right.
So, yeah. So now, obviously, he's no longer with us. Hopefully, it means that people will be able to come forward. The only thing that frustrates me about this one is that if people do start coming forward, I hope that there's going to be a way to prove what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's not here anymore. And so it's easier to come forward now, but can they bring proof forward to give the family the answers that they need? And there was an article in the Scottish Echo, which is the one that's, I think, covered the case the most. And it was an interview with Stefan's family. And they said that, they're obviously not going to miss him, but they do feel like justice won't be served now because... because he's not here. I don't know if it was death by his own hand or if it was an accident. I don't know. It doesn't say nothing to say how he died. I've checked over the messages on Facebook. There's nothing to say how he died. Just that his mum put out a post to say, now they can't get to you. You can rest in peace. So sad for his mum because obviously it's her son and she loves him.
Yes. Yeah.
And, regardless of what he's supposedly done, she's going to love him. So it's sad for her.
Now, this is a case that we both had been looking into and kind of investigating, behind the scenes, even after our episode.
Even still.
Yeah. And there's so much information out there that we've been privy to. And so it'll be interesting to see what actually happens from here.
Yeah. And I would love to be able to do an update episode and give you everything of what's been happening and what's gone on and the investigations that we've been doing with his family. It would be really good to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, and also a thank you to everybody for the interaction on last week's case has been phenomenal. It's probably the case that we've had the most retweets, the most shares, the most likes. Thank you so much from us and from Dean's family. If you
Mm,
haven't listened to last week's case yet, it's the case of Dean Wright, and the family are still looking for answers on this case. It's a current case. It's not a cold case. It's a current ongoing case at the moment. And we just need to reach the people that were there on holiday at the same time as Dean's death. That's all we want to do, is just speak to people that were there. And
mm,
so many people retweeted, so many people have messaged to say that they're really shocked by what happened and that they're going to share it and retweet it and send it out on Instagram. And it's had a lot of people have been sharing it, so thanks so much if you have been, and if you haven't and you want to, check out our socials. The posters are all on there,
mhm.
and you can share it and help Dean's
Yeah.
family too.
How crazy was it that we had a listener that actually stayed at the Hotel Ryu
I know. Yeah,
and knew
it's
about
crazy,
how
isn't it?
their workings and
Yeah. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But that's all it takes, isn't it? With a podcast, I know people joke and say everybody's got podcasts, but all it takes is one person to be listening to an episode for it to blow this case wide open. That's all it takes. So hopefully his mum will get the answers that she needs. And you asked me a question, did Dean get brought back to England? Yes, he did.
oh,
So
okay,
he is back. He is back in England with his family. So yes, he is. His auntie messaged and let me know that.
absolutely. And
So what's your
we
news?
have one other case update. So you remember I did case last year, I think it was last spring, of
Hmm.
Dr. William Husel. He was the critical care doctor who was accused of ordering potentially fatal doses of fentanyl to patients under his
Yeah.
care. Now, he was
Yeah.
originally charged with 25 murder counts. However, this past week, 11 of those murder counts were dropped against him.
That's crazy.
So there's at least so 11 of those patients, the prosecutor decided not to pursue murder charges and related to.
Is that because he's already going to get maximum charges on the ones that he is going for? So it's
Uh,
worth them just concentrating on those ones, and the ones with
mhm,
less evidence, that's probably why they
possibly,
don't like
yeah,
that.
possibly. So, so they dropped the cases that were dropped. Patient cases that were dropped were Emma Bogan, who received 900 micrograms of fentanyl; Jan Thomas, who received 800 micrograms of fentanyl; Norma Welch, who received 900 micrograms of fentanyl; Tim Fitzpatrick, 500 micrograms of fentanyl; Michael Walters, who received 500 micrograms of fentanyl; Robert Lee, 500 micrograms; Larry
God.
Brigner, 500 micrograms; Janet Kavanaugh, who received 1,000 micrograms of fentanyl;
Wow.
Charles Longstreth, who received 500 micrograms of fentanyl; and Karina Blake, who received 500 micrograms of fentanyl. Now, his trial is scheduled to begin on February 14th. His attorney is Jose Baez, who you will remember from the Casey Anthony case.
Oh God.
And the trial is expected to last 7 to 8 weeks.
Jeez. Think of the paperwork in that trial. Man,
Yeah.
there's going to be so much of it. So much paperwork.
Yeah. Now,
Well, let's hope justice is done. Let's hope,
mhm,
you know, the outcome is good and they get to the truth. Let's hope.
absolutely. Now, it seems like most of these cases that were dropped, except for one, were cases in which less than 1,000 micrograms were given. The remaining
Right.
the remaining cases are doses of 1,000 micrograms or more. So I think
Up.
it is
Right.
a case
Okay.
of,
Yeah.
if it is. And here's the thing too: they're probably doing it just so that they have a clearer picture of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because when you get
Yeah.
down to 500 micrograms and you look at 500 micrograms versus the health of the patient, it might not have been, they might not have seen it as a slam dunk. It could bring up additional questions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they must
Of
still be
course.
confident on these 14 cases that are still left against him. And we're still talking
Yeah.
14. So
Yeah. It's enough, isn't it?
yeah, and here's the thing. I know some of the families are really upset because they weren't really made aware of that this was going to happen, and so they feel as though that that since the cases are dropped, that they're not going to see justice for their family member. I don't want that's really sad to think of because even if their case was dropped and if at least, one other case sticks and he gets found guilty on it,
Yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
that's gonna be justice in one way or the other. They're not I don't believe that the prosecutor is saying, "Hey, your loved one isn't worth, you know."
No, but it must be frustrating for them because it
Yeah, it
is
is.
like they've chosen one person over another,
Mhm.
but you've got to look at it as it's the most chance of conviction. That's what they've done.
Absolutely. So,
So let's hope that, I mean, obviously every single one of those people matters.
absolutely. Yeah. So it'll be
So
very
let's hope we get
interesting
a
to see
good
what
outcome.
happens. And like I said, that's gonna be starting here just in a few weeks.
Keep us updated.
I will.
Have we heard anything about the Breckenridge? We haven't heard anything about that
No, we
either.
haven't. So
That's really quiet.
I think he had like a court date back in maybe September.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But I don't believe they scheduled a trial for him.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
really
We still
nothing's
don't
come
know
out. No,
anything.
don't know anything.
Strange, isn't it?
Very strange.
Yeah, bizarre. So I'll keep an eye on that too. I've been looking, but I haven't found anything for that one.
No, it's really weird.
Yeah.
They're keeping it very, very close-lipped over there in Breckenridge.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. That's another one we'll be able to do an update on and say, okay, we got him. And that's it. We're done.
Yep,
That would be
absolutely.
good. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, so how about we hop into this week's case?
Let's go.
Larissa Sam loved to sing and play guitar. In June 2015, Larissa was preparing for an upcoming audition of American Idol. She saw this as her chance to provide a better life for her young son. But Larissa would vanish without a trace just days before the audition. This is Crimepedia, and this is The Disappearance of Larissa Sam. All right, Cherry, today we will be talking about the disappearance of 22-year-old Larissa Marie Sam, who went missing in Indianapolis, Indiana on June 21st, 2015. Larissa has been described as always being happy and easygoing. She was a devoted single mother to her 4-year-old son, Marcus, who was everything to her. The two of them lived in an apartment in Greenwood, Indiana, just south of Indianapolis, along with Larissa's ex husband. At the time of her disappearance, Larissa was working as a dancer at an Indianapolis gentlemen's club called the Classy Chassis. But Larissa had hopes of leaving that job by becoming a singer. She had plans on auditioning for American Idol on June 23rd, just 2 days after her disappearance. At around 1:30 a.m. on June 21st, Larissa left her job at the Classy Chassis and headed to the west side of Indianapolis to have a few drinks with her uncle Rusty. At around 2:30 a.m., while at her uncle's home, Larissa posted on her personal Facebook page reading, "I want to text somebody. Texting buddy?" followed by her phone number. Rusty
What?
would state that Larissa had left his home sometime around 4:30 a.m. after he had fallen asleep. Yeah, and I heard you say what? Yeah, so
That's
Larissa,
weird.
yeah, so she posted on Facebook, hey, that she wanted to text somebody, and actually gave her phone number out on it.
That's a really weird thing to do, isn't it?
It is very weird. You can actually go to her Facebook page. Her Facebook page is still up, and you can actually see the post.
No way. That's so weird. What a weird thing to do.
It is,
Actually
yeah,
add your phone number to, I mean, I don't know, maybe some people do, but I don't know anyone that does that kind of thing. Why had she been drinking?
yeah. So she had been drinking. I don't know
Oh, okay.
if she had been drinking at the job, but apparently when she was at Uncle Rusty's house, they were drinking moonshine.
Oh, okay. So she is under the influence of something quite heavy then, because moonshine's quite crazy, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, and so when she
Got it.
posted it, you
Yep,
know
got
how
it.
and here's the thing, a lot of times you can go and you have different privacy settings, so people, we can choose who
Mm.
can see the post. Apparently, Larissa didn't have any privacy settings on, so basically anyone that knew of her Facebook page or her profile can see the number. You can go and you actually can still see that post. You can still see the telephone number.
Yeah. Yeah, there is loads of stuff on there.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, you can see her whole Facebook. That's crazy.
yeah.
But she's never looking at it, looking down it. She's never put her phone number on there before.
Mm-mm.
She's never put anything on there like that. It's literally just like she'll just puts little like comments on there. She doesn't actually put anything really personal on there. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a few things on there that she's written that falling out with other people I can see and things that she's done like that. But yeah, mostly it's just pictures of her
And,
and just little
yeah,
comments
that
here
and
and there.
a lot of I think she put up a lot of pictures or videos of, like, her and her son, but, yeah, it's just I mean, it's a normal
Yeah,
Facebook page. So that one post is really strange. It kinda stands out from everything else.
yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah, so like I said, after that text, we apparently Larissa left Rusty's home at around 4:30 a.m. And this was after he had fallen asleep. Now, when Larissa failed to
Okay.
pick up her son from her mother's house the following day, she was reported missing to the Indianapolis police. But of course, with adults, they can't take missing persons reports until 24 until 24 hours later.
Right,
S-
okay.
Now, within a few hours of them calling the police, Larissa's 2006 Dodge Stratus was found parked in a driveway at a empty house on the 2700 block of South Lyons Avenue in the Mars Hills neighborhood, which is located on
Right.
Indianapolis's southwest side. The car, which had a flat tire and its driver's window down, had been backed into the driveway. The keys to the car were found in the ignition, and Larissa's wallet with all of her credit cards and cash, as well as her cell phone, were found inside of the car. Now, interesting enough, the cell phone actually had its SIM card removed.
Oh, how weird.
Very weird. So, since her wallet, purse, and cash, credit cards were all there, investigators
Still
would
there.
quickly rule out robbery for as a motive in her
Mm,
disappearance.
mm.
Now, in a strange bit of luck, the house, I believe it was one of the neighbors to where the car was located, actually were friends with Larissa's family. And so
Okay.
they actually called and said, "Hey, I see Larissa's car here." And so they were able to go out and find the car and start looking around for her. Now,
Yeah.
until the 24 hours came up, police actually just viewed her car as being just an abandoned car and not really part of a
Oh
crime.
god. Why do they do that? When they've got somebody who's missing and then they've if a family's like reported someone missing and then you find their car abandoned with all their stuff in it, why do they wait the 24 hours? It's obviously, it's obviously that this person isn't it's not something they
Mhm.
usually do.
Yeah.
If you say to a family member, is they usually do this and they say, well, yeah, she does go missing every now and then. Okay, yeah, leave it 24 hours.
Mhm.
But when it's something like this and she's got a young son and she doesn't do this regularly, why not jump to action? 24 hours is a long
It
time
is.
to be waiting around for nothing and then go, oh, now we'll start our investigations. Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
And I don't believe that Larissa had any connections to the area, so there was no reason that for
Right.
her car to have been there.
To be there.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Okay.
is it's in the opposite direction of where she would have gone if she was gonna be to going home.
Yeah. Plus, she's been drinking. So,
Mhm.
you know, that's weird.
Exactly. Now, police would discover that a neighbor across the street from the empty home had actually captured the car being parked on surveillance camera.
No way.
Yes, so according to investigators, the video would show a unknown man backing Larissa's car into the driveway before running away from the vehicle at around 5:01 a.m.
Oh, that's not suspicious.
No, not at all. So that kind of brings up the point of if you're abandoning a car in this area, you have to either be familiar with this area,
Yeah.
or you have to maybe live close to the area, or it's the situation that maybe, it's more than one person. Because you're
Yeah.
not gonna just drop a car off in some area and then just, run off into the night without, having
Yeah,
some sort
exactly.
of
No
plan.
idea of where you're going. That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the video wasn't good enough, of course, to, you know, give police any leads or any known leads as to who it might have been.
Which is always the way, isn't it? We can put robots on Mars and take great pictures of that. We can use telescopes to look up at the moon and see all the craters, but our CCTV sucks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mhm.
Why can't they make decent, very, very clear video? You can do it on a mobile phone, so why can't you do it on a CCTV machine? I
Yeah.
don't get it.
I don't know. I mean, at least they the police were lucky enough to have, like, something, but
They
unfortunately
got something, yeah.
unfortunately, it wasn't enough to lead them
No.
to it. So that kind of also, I want to go back real quick to the whole SIM card thing. How that's, that being strange. So that's obviously someone trying to hide her locations, I guess. Because what's the SIM card? The
Yeah.
SIM card really holding. SIM card is what allows the phone to be used and be connected to the Wi-Fi networks. But that wouldn't necessarily prevent police from discovering text messages or anything, right?
That's right, yeah. What had happened before they got rid of it?
Hmm. So obviously,
Interesting.
the person who was in the car was trying to hide where she had been.
Yeah. So it's dodgy straight away.
Very, very, very. Now, the FBI would end up getting involved in the case very early on after a Facebook post suggested that Larissa was kidnapped and taken to another country. Yes. So, but after investigating this lead, the FBI would determine that it was a fake tip and it may have been an attempt
Oh.
at extorting the family.
What? Why do people do this? And this happens actually surprisingly often, that people will post fake tips on missing persons and murder inquiries. I never understand why. Why do you do things like that? Why get involved and do that and hinder an investigation? You've got to be sick to do something like that.
No,
That's
absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
obviously, I get it, trying to extort them for money, then they can see an income out of it. But just to like get yourself inserted into an investigation when you've got absolutely nothing to do with it
Hmm.
and you've got no information. Why would you do something like that? Just
It's just
it's crazy.
it's ridiculous. It's so dumb,
It is.
and
It
it's
happens a lot.
like, honestly, they should. I don't know what law. I mean, I'm sure there's laws against it, of course, extortion or whatever, but
Yeah.
they need to, like, go after these people and they need to make examples of them, right? If you're going to go and try to
Yeah, like
extort the family,
mm,
you need to be spending some time in jail.
perverting the course of justice for one, because you're trying
Hmm.
to deflect away from what's really going on and taking police time up when they could be working on something that's actually pertinent to the case. So they should definitely get some jail time for that. Definitely.
Hmm.
Because that's just crazy. And you think how many fake tips there are.
Yeah,
It's just, what is the point?
absolutely. Now, apparently, there have been a lot of strong potential leads in Larissa's case, but one by one, they've all been ruled out as well.
Oh.
Now, many people were concerned about the fact that Larissa vanished shortly after posting her phone number to Facebook.
Yeah.
But the FBI said that there was no evidence that somebody responding to her Facebook post had kidnapped her.
I find her Facebook very interesting.
Okay.
Very, very interesting. So her relationship it's complicated.
Yeah.
So she's not on a I'm single, I'm, divorced or anything like that.
Hmm.
And on the 21st of June, it comes up that it says Larissa Sam was drinking moonshine. So she's clocked in that she was drinking moonshine on the 21st of June. So also a little bit earlier in the evening, she writes Larissa Sam is feeling overwhelmed,
Yeah.
ready to go home and light one up and pour a glass. So then, if you actually go through her Facebook and read it, quite a lot of the things that she actually posts herself are things like, I don't know who's telling my baby's daddy what's on my Facebook. I don't know why I've got no friends. I feel like I've got no friends. She posts things on there and says, "Oh my, I'm here. I've got no makeup on. My hair's a mess."
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that she writes that it's all very down and all very sad.
Mhm.
A lot of the things that she puts on here, that she puts um people, I don't care, like this one particularly, 17th of June. So this is not far away from when she went missing. I don't care what anyone thinks about me or what I do. If I want your opinion, I'll ask for it. There's a magical concept in life called get the fuck over it. Shit happens. Everyone does things not everyone will agree with. Refer back to
Mhm.
the magical concept I stated above. But I won't apologize for things I do anymore, nor will I let someone make something I do about them or make me feel bad about things that I do. So it seems quite a lot of the stuff that she puts on is all about loyalty and the fact that people are going behind her back, the fact that she's got no friends, the fact that she's feeling rubbish, she's feeling down, she's not happy with her life. Quite a lot of it is quite down, I think.
Yeah.
It's quite a yeah, it's quite a telling kind of Facebook page. It comes to me as somebody who's not very happy.
Yeah. I mean, she had to have, had a be in a rough position, right? Because
Yeah.
she's co-parenting with her ex-husband. They're living together still,
Yeah, that
right?
must have been hard. Yeah.
So it had to be tough because how can you
Yeah.
have any sort of normal, normal life, normal relationships when
Yeah, you're living with your
with your
ex.
ex? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of made things easy. But it's strange in that she would finish work and then go and drink moonshine with her uncle when she's got a kid at home. I
No.
guess the kid's at home with dad, but
No,
it's a strange thing,
kid
isn't it?
is with grandma.
Oh, okay.
So it seems like to me, if it was if if the son is with grandma and he wasn't gonna be picked up the next morning, there was an
Okay.
expectation that she was gonna be out that evening.
Right, okay. So she was going to go out after work.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Has anyone checked out the uncle?
We will get to the uncle. Yes.
Okay, okay. That was my first thought was the
Yep.
uncle. Okay.
But so we'll get to it. But yeah, so I think in this case we really have two main suspects, right? First, you got to talk about the ex, right? Ex husband's always gonna be a suspect.
Exactly, and that's what I meant. If the kid was he was home with the kid, but he obviously wasn't.
Mhm.
So he didn't have the kid that night. So,
But
where was he? I thought he was just home with the kid.
no, but apparently, I mean, according to Larissa's family, they don't suspect the ex husband as at all. Yes,
Okay.
they are co-parenting. He has been very cooperative. He talked to the FBI, of course. He's been very
Okay.
involved in the investigation. They
Right.
they have no belief that he was involved whatsoever. I
Okay.
can't come back. I can't give you specifics of well, here's his alibi or this is what he was doing this evening.
No, okay. But they're happy it's not him.
That's correct. And so that's
Okay.
gonna leave us with Uncle Rusty, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Right, okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That would be the two people you'd go for straight away, wouldn't it? Be the ex-husband and the last person that saw her. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's cool.
Yep. Now there was another theory that Larissa had been followed by someone that she met at the strip club where she worked.
Yeah.
Once again, FBI said that there was no evidence of this either.
Right.
Now, Larissa's
Okay.
family also stated that they believe that her disappearance might have been connected to human trafficking,
Oh no.
but the FBI has also ruled this out, right?
Right, okay. Yep.
So, numerous people that have been interviewed in regards to the case, um, none of them have been publicly identified, nor have anyone really truly been ruled out. Okay.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So let's jump into Uncle Rusty, okay? Because this is an interesting situation, okay? And I want to go back to when Larissa was young, right? So when Larissa was a year old, her father Robert Wagner committed suicide,
Oh
and
no.
Larissa's mother Rebecca became disconnected from his side of the family.
Yeah.
Okay, now Larissa had always been curious about that side of the family and was always asking questions about them, but no one could really give her any answers. But in
Yeah.
2013, she found her uncle, John Rusty Wagner, on Facebook.
Right.
Now, after questioning him about that side of her family, she decided that she wanted to meet up with him.
Yeah.
And the two would seem to hit it off and became close pretty quickly, to the point
Okay.
where she would go on trips with them. There was at least at one point they had Uncle Rusty had taken her and his kids to Kings Island Amusement Park in Cincinnati. So obviously
Okay.
there was some sort of connection there. They were building some sort of closeness.
Yeah, which is understandable because it's
Hmm.
like close to her dad, and obviously her dad's not there anymore, so
Yeah.
she can get answers that she needs about her dad from his brother.
Yes. Now, Larissa's family would state that around 2014, so about a year after they met, they began
Yeah.
to suspect that Rusty had become infatuated with her.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, even stranger, at some point, Uncle Rusty would start going to the classy chassis to watch Larissa dance.
That's weird. So she's a stripper,
Y-
right? Not just like a podium doll. She's a
yes.
stripper. So you're
Yes.
gonna watch your niece strip. That's weird.
It is very weird. Now, Larissa found this weird, right? And there were concerns about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also think that people kind of, waved it away too a little bit because of the fact that there wasn't that family bond, that normal family bond. So it's not like Uncle Rusty who has known Larissa since she was a baby.
But it's still your
It
niece.
is still your niece, right?
It would creep me out. I mean, if I'm a woman and if my niece was stripping,
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to go and watch her strip
Yeah,
because that's just weird.
yeah. No, it's absolutely it's very weird and
Mm.
it's very concerning.
Yeah.
But I can also see how people could kind of go like, well, I mean, yeah, he's your uncle by blood, but I mean, you don't have that closeness of a normal uncle niece,
No.
relationship. It's still
Yeah, but like
creepy.
as soon as yeah, it is. As soon as you found out it was your niece, you'd be like, "Ugh, not going there anymore.
Yeah,
Let's go to a different club."
yeah.
I
Well,
mean, even if you were there trying to protect her,
yeah,
you'd stay out the way. You'd stay out the way from watching her get a kit off. You would, yeah, that's really odd. Rusty's weird to me.
it is very weird. Now, Rusty also has a history with police.
Oh dear.
Okay,
Okay. Rusty's getting dodgier by the minute.
Rusty is very dodgy.
Yeah.
So Uncle Rusty has a history with law enforcement.
Okay.
In 1989, Uncle Rusty was charged and convicted of rape.
Oh no.
So he was actually initially charged with rape, deviant sex acts, criminal confinement, and resisting law enforcement. He would end up pleading guilty to rape and the deviant sex acts, criminal confinement, and resisting law enforcement were dismissed.
Right. Okay.
So Uncle Rusty is not the best person in the world.
No, he's got a history of being a bit of a douchebag.
Just a little bit, yes.
And even though it's been kicked out, it's still not the point, is it?
Yeah, no, yeah,
The suspicion's still there.
exactly. Yep. Now,
Mm.
at the time of Larissa's disappearance, Rusty had just recently been married, but his wife was living in Michigan at the time.
Okay.
Now, 3 days after the disappearance, Rusty would leave Indianapolis to go pick up his wife in Michigan. While driving, Rusty wrecked his Prius when he crashed head on with a semi truck.
Oh
But he
no.
was lucky enough to have only suffered a shoulder injury. Now, there
Okay.
has been speculation that this actually may have been a suicide attempt
Oh, okay.
because in March of 2017, Uncle Rusty committed suicide by hanging himself.
So he actually did do it.
Yes.
Ah, damn
And
it.
this had occurred just days after FBI officials went to interview him.
Right, okay. So has he done it because he's going to get caught out?
Uh, yeah, I mean,
That's quite suspicious.
There's at least one potential suicide attempt right after the
Yeah.
disappearance, and then you have an actual suicide
An
attempt
actual, yeah. Yeah. Oh dear.
after being
After the
questioned
FBI getting,
by
yeah, that's right.
hmm
So it's an attempted suicide attempt, or attempted suicide, sorry, the minute it's happened, straight after it's happened. And then as soon as the FBI have got involved and he thinks they're getting closer, he's then actually committed suicide. So
yes,
that doesn't really bode well for proceedings, because that points guilt to him quite quickly, doesn't it?
it does. And while the FBI hadn't come out and said, Uncle Rusty is a prime suspect, or we have belief that he was involved in the crime, I I can't see any other reason why they would dismiss any other thoughts so quickly, right? The idea that maybe she
Yeah.
had been kidnapped and sex trafficked, or
Yeah.
it could have been someone that had known her from her work and had followed her. It seems like they're pretty sure of what may, or at least who was involved in the disappearance.
Yeah.
And I really wonder if Uncle Rusty was there, it was a person that they were really going after.
Yeah, but they didn't have obviously the evidence of it yet, so they can't publicly pin it all on him because they haven't got the evidence. I mean, you could know who's done a crime. It happens in cases all the time. Police know damn well who did it. It's just getting the CPS or, the prosecutors to go, yes, okay, there's enough. There's enough evidence there
Mm-hmm.
to pin that on that person. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah. So
And the fact that he stalked, well, not stalked her, but the fact that the thing that does it for me is the fact that he went and watched his niece strip. That's weird.
is very weird.
Yeah.
He had, and I really believe he had a unhealthy
Yeah.
relationship with her, or unhealthy fascination with her.
And given his history of sexual crimes,
Mm-hmm.
then, it's just stacking up against him, isn't it? It's hard to ignore those things. You
Mm-hmm.
have to take those into consideration.
Yeah. And I find it strange that Uncle Rusty, he claims that he knew that she left at 4:30, but he
Yeah.
said that he was already asleep, right?
He was
So he's
asleep.
asleep, but he knows, okay, yeah, but she left at 4:30.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense either.
And I don't know. There's just so many weird things about this that I just don't understand. Like, why would she go over to his house at that time at night,
Yeah.
right? And if she's
If he's already creeping her out,
yeah,
if she already thinks he's a bit weird and he's a bit, if she's already said that he creeps her out a little bit and he's got a bit of an unhealthy fascination and she thinks that too, why would you go over to his house and drink when he's drinking as well that time of the morning on your own?
yeah.
That's also strange.
And why would she? Okay, and then think about this too. Why would she go over to Uncle Rusty's house to drink and play guitar, and then text, "Hey, I want a texting buddy," and give out her telephone number?
Yeah, that is weird. And she's not done that. I was looking down her Facebook. She's not done it before. She hasn't written anything like that before. It's a strange thing to post.
So it is very, very strange.
Yeah.
And I would like to. I mean, I would like to see what text messages were made between her and Uncle Rusty leading up to this, right?
Well, there was a guy who's messaged under when she put that on her Facebook. There's she's put on there, I want to text someone, text him buddy, and then put her phone number. A guy called Mike Harris has messaged underneath it. Well, so I'm guessing Mike sent her a message.
Oh, yeah.
And she's not replied.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then somebody else has put underneath it, has anyone seen her? She's been missing since 4:30.
Yeah, that's her mom. Yep.
Rebecca.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's her mom.
So that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, well, I wonder how many messages she actually got. How many messages did she get that night on her phone?
Yeah.
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 Strange, isn't it?
No, absolutely. There's a lot of strange things with this.
Yeah.
What time? Because let's see. So she posts at 12:41 a.m., ready to go home, light went up, and pour a glass.
Yeah.
Right? And then after that, Oh, look at this. Rusty Wagner. Don't forget your Uncle Rusty. I really been looking forward to seeing you. Smile face.
Yeah, it's weird.
This is very, very weird.
But I mean, I just find that a bit strange. I find it strange that if it's somebody she's a bit wary of, she knows that he's got a bit of an unhealthy obsession with her. I mean, maybe she was feeling a bit lonely. Maybe, maybe she just thought, if she's written on her Facebook a lot about like not having very many friends and not seeing anybody and things like that. And so maybe she just, she finished work and she just wanted to see a friendly face, and then she's just gone with she's gone with the first person that was awake or she thought would be awake. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she's gone with him because of
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
Yeah, very possible.
Yeah, it's weird. But the same kind of people over and over again looking through her Facebook, I'm sure the authorities have done this. The same few people
Comment.
comment quite a lot on the things that she says. So there's about 4 or 5 people that the names keep coming up of contacting her. So I would imagine they would have text if they didn't know her and have her number already. I'm guessing they would have made a note of that and text her like, "Hey, it's whoever, how are you?" So I'd be interested to see her messages, her DMs on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I didn't be interested to see who messaged her at that time. So it would be interesting to see who she talks to on a regular basis.
Yeah. That's weird. Like I'm thinking about this now. So this 12:41 a.m. right where he writes, "Don't forget your Uncle Rusty. I've been really looking forward to seeing you." Does that
Yeah.
sound to you as
Creepy.
though that they had plans to meet up, or does that sound like like almost like at 12:41 there were no plans for her to go over to Rusty's house, but then something happened after that? Maybe he contacted her, like called her or texted her and said, "Hey, why don't you just come over?"
I don't know. I memean, yeah, he's put on there, "Don't forget your Uncle Rusty. I've been really looking forward to seeing you." So that makes it sound like, well, no, it could be. He's saying, like, because she's put ready to go home, light one up and pour a glass. And
Go
he's put, "Don't
home.
forget your Uncle Rusty." So maybe he said, like, "Don't forget you're supposed to be
Come
coming
here.
here.
Oh, maybe.
I've really been looking forward to seeing you." That's how I read that.
Mm-hmm.
He's got pictures of her on his Facebook too. Yeah. Oh, there's videos of him too on his Facebook.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
It's just really creepy.
It is, and it's very creepy. I mean, has he had previous suicide attempts before? Has he got a history of this? I
No,
wonder.
not that I'm aware of.
No. So
No.
it seems strange that he's first attempt suicide as soon as she goes missing, and then his actual suicide as soon as he's had authorities come to him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's strange, isn't it? If he's not got a history of this or a history of any mental health like this. I mean, he didn't get any sort of attempts when he was in trouble for the rape. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, weird.
Very, very weird.
Hmm.
And of course, this is still a unsolved case, and hopefully,
Did they find her?
they have never found her.
Never found her at all.
Never found
She
her
just
at all.
literally just disappeared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, at the time of her disappearance, Larissa was 5'7" and weighed about 135 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Her natural hair color is dark brown, but at the time of her disappearance, it was dyed black with red hair extensions. She does have
Yeah.
tattoos. She has a scroll design on her lower back, stars, and rainbow colored streaks across the back of both shoulders. She has a tattoo of candies, a cupcake, an ice cream cone, musical notes, and the word princess across her upper chest. She does wear, or at the time, she was wearing black rimmed glasses, which she may or may not have in her possession, and she went by the nickname Rissa. So she has never been found. There's been no evidence of of any type of murder or anything like that. No signs of any type, no signs of a struggle. Nothing. So she literally just up and vanished.
Ah, okay.
It's a frustrating
I
one.
mean, it is frustrating. I mean, I'm reading. I think her Facebook is very, very interesting.
Hmm.
When you read through her Facebook, and even her mum has put on her Facebook. I was worried about some of the things she's posted recently.
Hmm.
She's been very quiet, so it's very interesting. I mean, obviously things aren't good with her ex husband.
Hmm. Yeah,
They're not.
they're
They're
not.
not. They can't be good. Reading from what she's saying here, it's things aren't great between her and the ex-husband.
Hmm.
So that's also very interesting. Also, I'd be very interested to see this CCTV. The guy that's on the CCTV, be
Yeah.
interesting to see what kind, how tall he is.
Hmm.
What does he, has he got shaved head, has he got long hair, what does he look
Yeah.
like, who is this guy?
Hmm.
That would be very interesting
It would
too,
be. Yeah.
because that's, I don't know, it's odd. I don't know why. I don't know why the ex. I know that they've cleared him, but I would be very interested to see how they cleared him.
Well, I don't know if he hasn't officially been cleared. It's more the family
Yeah.
feels like he was not involved.
No, maybe not by his own hands.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You're always suspicious. It's always the husband, isn't it? The first one, or wife, or
Hmm.
whatever. It's always the nearest and dearest that you're very suspicious about. And maybe, but I'm just not trying to pin it on the fact that Rusty's weird. And
He
then
is.
you go, oh, well, it's got to have been him. So it must have been him. He must have done it, and he's committed suicide. So it was definitely him. I think you still got to look at the other people, and just looking at the things that she's writing on her Facebook. People tend to empty their head, kind of thing, don't they?
Mhm.
And there's no filter on what she's writing. She's writing a lot of stuff about her ex-husband, and the fact that they still live together
Mhm.
must be very
Oh
difficult.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the things aren't happy there. It doesn't sound like it's very amicable, and it doesn't
Mhm.
sound like she's having an easy time of it. So I find it strange that she would go and spend some time with somebody who creeps her out a little bit. But at the same time, if she's feeling a bit lonely, she just finished work
She has nowhere else to
and she
go.
doesn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go home because I thought the husband would be at home with the kid. Obviously, the kid's at grandma's, so maybe she doesn't want to go home with him because maybe he kicks off if the kid's not around. Maybe when the
Yeah,
kid's there, he
possibly.
doesn't kick
Yeah.
off so much. So there's so many different avenues you can go down, but I think definitely those two,
Mhm.
I would be really interested to hear a lot more about those
Yeah.
two. A lot more.
Because just from what they found in the car, right? That
Yeah.
leads. At least I see that as whatever happened to her was something more personal rather than just a
Yes.
random robbery,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because look, she's a stripper. She had a significant amount of money on her,
Yeah.
and it was left. I could understand, if it was a robbery, maybe they don't want to take the credit cards because
No.
that will
But
lead
the
them.
cash they'd
The
take.
cash would take, yeah, no problem. But it
Yeah.
didn't seem
That's
like they
right.
took anything.
And why go and park the car up there? Why
Uh
was the
huh.
car parked
Yeah.
there? Surely you would just leave it.
Yeah. Now, Mars Hill is not the best neighborhood in Indianapolis. Apparently, there is a large drug problem in the area. There's a
Okay.
lot of.
So the cash would have gone if it was
Oh yeah.
the cash would have gone straight away.
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
was somebody just robbing her like that,
Hmm.
the cash would have gone.
Yeah.
So that doesn't,
Hmm.
that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That it would just be some random, like, trying to get money for drugs. That would, there would be no cash left.
Exactly. Yeah. No. And what's the chances that someone just happens to randomly park her car in a empty house, right? They
Yeah,
knew that the
that's
house was
right.
empty.
Yeah, of course they did. So that suggests it's somebody local. I mean, that if not, that would be the biggest fluke, the biggest piece of luck you'd ever find. The fact that
Right.
you park a car on a random empty house's driveway that you just didn't know that was there. You just happened to be
Mhm.
passing and realized it was empty.
Yeah.
That's no. So they knew. So they know the area. So it's got to be somebody who knows that area. Somebody
Mhm.
local that knows.
And they take the time to back the car into the driveway too. It's
Yeah,
like, come on.
exactly.
It's someone that
Yeah.
wasn't worried about time or being seen,
No.
or they went to like, okay, I'm gonna. And why'd you back? Actually, bring it up. Why do you back a car into a driveway? Why do you take
Yeah.
with with a car that has a flat tire? Why do you take the time to back it in?
Yeah. Yeah, it is strange.
I think they were trying to set it up as a you know, as a drug deal gone wrong or her
Yeah.
being robbed by a drug addict or something. I think they're trying to set it up that way, but they did a really bad
Yeah.
job at it.
Really bad job. Yeah, because they've forgotten the main thing that,
Mhm.
you would take if you were in a
Yeah,
robbery.
you don't just take the SIM card and run off.
No.
You take you take the SIM card because you're trying to cover your tracks or
Previous
yeah,
messages. Yeah.
someone's but that doesn't really cover messages. It's just gonna
See, the,
it's gonna hide location.
See, then that is what makes me think it's somebody older that hasn't really got a clue about mobile phones
Mm-hmm.
and technology in that way. That makes me think, okay, the person's just taking the SIM card out thinking, yeah, that's it. Everything's wiped out of the phone now. It's all gone. They're not thinking of, they don't understand how that works. So could that be that it's somebody a bit older?
Yeah.
Does that suggest it's somebody who's a bit older that doesn't really understand that kind of thing? And they think taking the SIM card out is going to remove everything?
Yeah.
It could suggest that. It's really sad because it's always the not knowing is very sad. It's very sad for the family that are left behind. Obviously, she's got a son.
Mm-hmm.
She's unlikely to just leave her son. She's making money.
Yeah.
She didn't take the money with her, so she's not saved up and then gone missing and taken her money because the money was still there. It's a significant amount of money
Mm-hmm.
and it's all in cash. So it's not traceable.
Yeah.
So if she was off starting a new life, she could have left all her credit cards and personal belongings there, but the cash would have gone with her, surely.
Yeah.
So that doesn't sound to me like somebody who's going over to start a new life.
No, not at all.
That sounds to me like somebody else is involved
Mm-hmm.
and something's gone a bit wrong. I mean, that's the thing. My theory would be that she's gone to see Uncle Rusty.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got a bit wrong. Something's got out of hand. He's drunk and maybe, obviously this is purely just,
Makes a
this
move
is
on
just purely
her.
an idea. Makes a move on her. She freaks out and goes mental. He loses his shit.
He has
Something happens.
he has a
A
background, a
history of,
history.
yeah,
He's been in charge right
exactly.
before. Uncle Rusty's like,
Yeah.
oh God, I
Panicked.
messed up.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
So that's a very plausible explanation.
Mm-hmm. And it
And the fact that he killed himself afterwards is very suspicious because that screams guilty for something, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. The question then becomes: is if that did happen, what did Uncle Rusty?
Where is she?
What did Uncle Rusty do with her?
Well, the thing is how quickly was Uncle Rusty seen again after he met with her? Do we know for definite? He did say she was there, so he's already said that she was with him,
Yeah.
but left at 4:30.
Now,
so
the following day after her car was found, Uncle Rusty and actually the ex-husband both went to Mars Hill to look for her.
Right. Okay.
And so he was around, and then he would leave for Michigan 3 days later. So on I think it was the 24th.
23rd, 24th. Yeah. So yeah, he had hours. He had
Mm-hmm.
hours between the last time she was seen
Mm-hmm.
by somebody else and the time that they realized she was missing.
Yeah.
There was hours in between. So that's a long time. He's got a vehicle, obviously. They found nothing forensically in her car to say that she
Nope.
No, so there's nothing forensically to link her to being in the boot or anything like that, or in the trunk or whatever you guys call it. So, yeah, I'd be interested if they went over his car.
Oh no, absolutely.
Did they? Did they forensically check his vehicle?
We don't know.
No. Oh, that's very frustrating, and frustrating for the mum too.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
At the moment, Uncle Rusty is my top suspect, but yeah, I don't know.
It's
the whole situation with the ex reading her Facebook, that's weird too.
Yeah. No, that is very weird.
There's a lot. She talks about him a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I happen to think, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm thinking Uncle Rusty. And I think you're right about your thoughts of something going wrong.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't think
he was panicked.
Yeah, exactly. it's sad.
It's really sad. Yeah, it's another one that's really sad. And another one that now he's not around anymore. Are we going to get any answers on this?
Exactly.
Because if she is found, if her remains are found one day by somebody, there's not going to be anything to link him specifically to this. It's just going to be the fact that she is found somewhere. But at least she would be found for her family. If he was gonna commit suicide anyway, you would think that he would have left some sort of note telling them what he's done, where she is, so that her family can have her back. But no, strange.
No, it's very, very strange.
There's nothing for him saying it was me, I did it. I mean, what would he have to lose? He wouldn't have anything to lose. He's going to be gone.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate.
I hate it when things like that come in and kick it all up. When it's but the main suspect is now dead, and you're like, oh no,
Yeah, so that's why
ruined everything.
That's why when you gave the update on Stephen Sutherland, I was like, it's like that's like the same situation.
And it's annoying, isn't it? Because I know, speaking to Stefan's family, I know how frustrating that is for them, because they don't feel that they're ever going to get the answers that they need.
Yeah.
They're not going to get the full answers that they want, and that's really annoying for them. Because the least you could do in that case is to just give it up. If you did do something to her and you were going to commit suicide anyway, why not just tell everyone what happened? Why not? You're not going to get in trouble for it because you're gone. So
I think this is a case that, I mean, nothing's gonna be solved or come out until they actually they find her.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of like, okay, well, it has to be it's a very, I mean, I think it has to be a very relatively small area where he or whoever did whatever to her hid the body. I think so. I mean, well, it depends on how accurate his
how long he had as well.
Because the last message that she put on was, what time was that? 2 o'clock. It was
2 a.m. for her last message.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I mean, if you
2:30.
There's hours.
2:30 a.m.
So 2:30, and he's saying she left at 4:30, which is going to be blatantly a lie. So if that's the case, her last message went on at 2:30. So that's if she wrote that message. That's the other thing.
Oh,
so
yeah,
let's just say the last time she was seen was by whoever in the club. So that would be our last known sighting of her. That would be the last time we know for definite she was still alive.
Yeah.
So you take the time it drives from her house to Rusty's. If she went to Rusty's, he's saying she's there, but there's no one else to say that she was there. There's no location. I mean, I'm sure they could probably find it from her Facebook where she was, but that would be interesting to see. That's why I asked you like the hours, because it could be that he's had like a good 6-8 hours. You can go a hell of a long way in
That's
6 to 8
true,
hours and back, there and back, before anyone sees him again.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see when was the last time that she was seen, other than with Rusty.
It would have
and
been.
when was the last time that Rusty was seen?
It would have
by
been
somebody.
the classy chassis would have been the last time she was actually seen, other than
actually seen.
And so
That's
that
right.
would have been 1:30 a.m. So
yeah.
So
from 1:30 a.m. we don't know.
1:30 a.m. to 5 a.m.
There you go. So the 5 a.m. was the last time that he was seen by somebody.
Well, 5 a.m. is when they saw the car being parked.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we know she wasn't with the car then. So so we've got like a 5-hour window then. Well, 1:30 till 5. So.
Well, and then we can assume. Okay.
But that's just assuming that that's him in that car, because he's not actually seen by anybody that knows him until much later. So he could have parked that car and she could have been in his car, and he could have then driven, I don't know, 3 hours away, dumped her body and driven 3 hours back, because that's what I mean, in that the last time that she was actually seen was at work. So we know for a fact, not from Rusty, she was seen by somebody alive then. Now, the next time that somebody actually sees Rusty, because, okay, he's saying she left at 4:30. He's saying her message says she was alive at 2 o'clock. Doesn't mean to say that she posted that. And also, he's saying she left at 4:30. She might not have left at 4:30. He might have killed her at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then no one's seen Rusty again until 24 hours later when he and the husband go to look for the thingy. Well, he's got like a 24-hour span where he could have been anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what we need to find out and see where he was.
And then 3 days later, after disappearance, his car gets
Yeah.
destroyed in an accident.
Oh, how surprising.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good for Rusty.
It's not. Yeah, and with apparently the condition of the Prius was so bad that
Oh,
you wouldn't have expected anyone to have gotten out of it alive. So if it's in that bad a condition, how are you going to get a good investigators are going to get
forensic profile.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you going to do that if it's all you can't uncrumple all the metal, can you? So that's suspicious in itself.
And if it's that bad, I mean, I'm sure Uncle Rusty was probably bleeding all over it. So yeah, you're going to find blood in the car or whatever. And I'm sure that even if they found her hair in the car, he could probably explain it away as well. Like, yeah, we
of course.
we hung out. She went to amusement park with us, and she's been in a car before.
They're family. Yeah, exactly. So there will be touch DNA of hers in the car anyway, because they're family. They spend time together. She's been in the car multiple times. So there will be. But yeah, it's all very convenient, I think. It's very convenient. He knows exactly what time she left. It's very convenient that then she was never found. It's very convenient that his car gets into a wreck. Then there's a suicide attempt. Then he actually does it. It's all very convenient.
Yeah. You're right. It's not looking good for Uncle Rusty.
It's not.
We just need to find.
I'd be interested to get hold of this case file.
We just need to find Larissa.
I'd be really, really.
Oh no, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
There's probably
I'd be very interested.
I guarantee you, there's a lot of information that we don't have, right? And FBI, police, they know what they probably have a good idea of what happened. They just don't have enough to say.
No, that's right. This is what happened, and obviously their main priority would be to find her. Are they still actively looking for her, or is that
not that I'm aware of? I don't know what the case status is, but it doesn't seem to be a very active investigation. It's not an active investigation. So it's one of those.
I've not heard of this one.
Yeah.
I've not heard of this. Sad, isn't it? Sad.
It's very sad.
Sad for her family that they're just giving up. They're not looking for her. They'll just wait now until she's found by someone.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a situation where someone's just gonna stumble across her somewhere.
Yeah, I mean obviously we're just assuming that she's died. That there's foul play involved. That's just our initial assumption. It doesn't look to me like the kind of thing where someone started over. It doesn't look to me like she's left and started a new life somewhere. I mean, they're saying that she wasn't sex trafficked. For them to come out and say it's not sex trafficking, then they've got something. They've got something they're not saying, because otherwise they would be following up everything. So they know it's not sex trafficking. So they've got something that's telling them otherwise. So yeah, I would imagine there's quite a lot we don't know that would point to whoever did this. There's just not that pinnacle to point it on them.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Right. So that's our
Hopefully
case.
they find her.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Thank you very much. So I have got a dumb criminal for you this week. This is a good one. You're going to like this one.
Yes, let's do it.
Hey, dum-dum head. You's a real jackass.
Okay, so Eloise Reeves stretched the limits of serve and protect when she approached a policeman and asked him to help her get her money back for the poor quality crack cocaine that she'd just bought. So she went up to the policeman, showed him the crack cocaine, which she had tucked in her mouth, and then he, of course, placed her under arrest. Can you imagine that? You go to a police officer and say, "You never guess what? I've just bought this crack, and it was rubbish. So can you please help me go get my money back?"
Oh God!
She must have thought afterwards, "What an idiot! Why did I do that?
Oh my God!
What an idiot! Can you believe it?
Could you imagine being the officer and going like, "What? Excuse me?"
Yeah. must have been, oh my God, this is my lucky day.
Yeah.
But she took it out of her mouth and showed it to him. Was like, look, it's bad.
Look how shit this is.
Can you just take
Do you
it and
want a
get my
hit?
money
Here, I
back?
swear, just take a hit. It's shit. Something, nothing.
So yeah, I know she was probably under the influence, and we shouldn't laugh. But
No,
it
we
is a
can
dumb
laugh.
criminal.
We can laugh.
It is a dumb criminal section, and
Oh
yeah,
my God.
it was. It just made me laugh, that one. I thought it was funny.
That is
They get
hilarious.
worse every week. They get worse every week.
That's unbelievable.
So before we go, don't forget you can still get your tickets for both the Crime Cons. We've got CrimeCon US happening in April through to the beginning of May. So it's in Vegas this year. If you haven't already heard us talking about it, you can still get tickets. You can still use our code, which is Crimepedia, at checkout. That will get you 10% off of your ticket price. And we've still got UK CrimeCon happening in June as well. There's still tickets available for that. And the quicker you get them, the cheaper they are. So if you're thinking about going, just get your tickets and then worry about the rest of it later on. And you can use the discount code for that one as well.
Yep.
And we will see you there. There's lots of really good people lined up. Really good. Yeah, you have a look at it. Go and check out their website, crimecom.co.uk, and you will see all the really good speakers that are being announced. Follow them on Instagram. There's loads of good things that are going to be happening this year. Last year was brilliant. I think this year is going to top last year.
No one as good as us, though.
No, we'll be together, so you can meet both of us. So everyone, I know that there's a lot of people coming back from last year.
Yeah.
So I've had people message that have said that they're looking forward to meeting both of us, and of course, then we can get you to meet all the English listeners, which will be fun.
It would be very, very fun. I would love that.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening this week. We will be back next week with another case. It'll be my case next week. And for now, be nice.
And bye.